Hey everybody, how we all doing? Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Thank goodness it's always Friday when I do these. It's like a last stride thing. We're gonna wait for a couple more people to join up, and then yeah, we'll get everything started. Today, today's webinar is gonna have like a lot of information. So definitely have your notes out. It's going to pretty much change the way that you guys do call transferring, possibly, right? And then also it's going to add a lot more information that you guys might have not known before. So it'll be very beneficial. So we're going to wait like 2 more minutes, wait for more people to trickle in, and then we'll get everything going. Hey, Mike. Yes, I'm also looking forward to this one. Hey, Carrie. And happy Friday, product mentor. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's growing out. The hair is growing out. That's for sure. More than likely, we're not going to have as many people here as we did before because we have um, an email issue, I believe. Something very slight. Um, but they're going to get it fixed up. So either way, it's fine. For those of you who are here, you guys are definitely going to love it. Hey, Harb, how you doing? All right, one more minute, guys, and then we'll get this going. Can't wait to touch some grass after today, probably tomorrow, but that's gonna be something that's needed. Okay, let me go ahead and start my screen in just a sec. I'll give it like 30 seconds. Just getting rid of a couple useless things here as well. I just changed my mic. Let me know if you guys are still able to hear me as well. You should be able to. Okay, cool. Let's get started. Let's do this. All right. So today we're basically going to be discussing how to handle call transfers, voicemails, and reconnects with voice AI. Now, the first thing we're going to be starting off with is call transfers because call transferring is fairly simple. However, it can get very complex depending on what you're wanting to do. Now, I know there are a couple of ways where you believe you might be doing it the best way possible, but there are other alternatives or maybe even add-ons that you can add onto your call transferring that makes the experience a whole lot better. Um, so let's go ahead and start with it real quick. I'll share my screen. As always, I have this document for you guys right here. I'm going to go ahead and pin it in the chat. All right, perfect. It's pinned. All right. So the reason I always give this document here is just in case you guys need any help with anything. Obviously, you have me. Uh, for pretty much, you have all my resources here. You have my YouTube, my school community, my implementation team, and then me, plus the meeting recording and an SOP that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, which is going to be insane. Very good find that I made there. Because most of the time for you guys, I always tend to go through these, like before these webinars. What I do is I basically do as much research as I can, as much practicing as I can, so that way I could be prepared for you guys. And what I found this time was very, very, very good, just because now we're going to be able to send data before actually transferring the call. So as you guys may know, that's not really one of the easiest thing to do because you need a lot of formatting for the prompting as well as API. So being able to get both of them done and using the flow designer while doing it isn't the easiest thing to do. However, I was able to figure it out for you guys so you guys are able to see, how it works. So let's go ahead and jump straight into here. I'm going to go into my own account so that way it's a lot easier. Mm, 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 mm. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to make an assistant from the templates that I've made before for you guys. Just a normal one, not the appointment reminder. I don't think I need that one. I will get lead qualifier. Let's do this one. Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of strategies with the flow designer. All right, so the flow designer is obviously the new addition that we've made to Synthflow. And if you go right here, you click on the flow designer. I'm actually going to go ahead and copy this here so I could show you guys from scratch how to make it. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to show you guys how simple it is to actually make it. All right. Ah, crap. I always do this. There we go. Is there a way to add an overlay? Oh, no. Okay, cool. And that should be fine. Yeah, that should be, you guys should be able to view it better now. All right. So pretty much I grabbed a template, right, from the ones that I made for Synthflow. And I'm going to be going and doing this inside of the Flow Designer. So let's go ahead and jump on here. Flow Designer. This is going to be very, very different. Maybe it's because of the... Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so how does the Flow Designer work? Basically here in this first initial global settings, this is where you're going to give the assistant a background. All right, now whether it's an API of like telling the assistant what the time is currently, or searching for a specific database right before the call using the phone number of the user. Depending what it is, you're able to put it here. However, let's go ahead. I usually treat this as the knowledge base of the assistant, right? So you guys already know how I format my stuff. I don't think this one was actually formatted by me. So I'm going to go to another one right here from the humongous document that I have. I'm just going to use this one right here. All right, I'll use this one. So I'm going to grab who you are, purpose of the call, those two, and I'm going to paste those in here. Now, as you guys know, or might not know, you can't use hashtags within the flow designer. So what I do is I just have them like this. Same thing, except obviously it works. It doesn't work the same as the prompt itself if I do it in prompt mode, but in flow designer, this is how it works. Okay, so call actions, we go ahead and skip everything for this because we won't need call actions just yet. We're going to skip all the way to knowledge base. So in knowledge base, we grab everything. Absolutely everything. I grab this. I go back here. And then I go ahead and paste it under here. And of course, remove all of the hashtags. Because the hashtags here just refer to actions. That's why they are purple. Almost done. I usually want to do this in front of you guys so that way you guys are able to see every step of the process. All right. So we save the changes. Now in here, right? Now that we have what the assistant is, what we want the assistant to do, and the knowledge base of the assistant already set up, what we want to do is add the greeting, right? So I believe I copied it earlier. There it is. That's the greeting. But actually, now I think about it, I did change the prompting. So I think this is the greeting now. Yep. So in here, just gonna paste the greeting here. As you can see, that's basically the variable right there. So now you're able to add variables like this. It looks pretty cool. But basically that's how you add variables inside of the Flow Designer. But we're gonna be talking about the call transferring, right? Let's just make um let's just make this pretty simple for you guys to understand. I'm gonna save the changes here. I'm not gonna make the entire build out, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys the overview of how it works. Because by the way, I do have an entire SOP here of how you could watch it and do this for yourself. So it's pretty easy. All right, let's go to actions here. We're going to yep, I'm gonna make one right now. The flow designer, and then here actions in the call. I keep forgetting. I'm so used to the prompt, but what you have to do is you go to add action, call transfer here. By the way, this is not actually how you set up like the flow designer itself. I'm just showing you guys the call transfer example. I'm just gonna pick this right here. Now, essentially, usually whenever you reach the point, well, let's say for example here, you would do if the user is looking to speak to a manager, use the tool call transfer, right? That's what you would usually do, right? Normally, that's how you call the action. However, what I want to teach you guys is being able to send information to yourself before the action actually gets done, right? So, how do you send information before the call transferring? Now, I would say it's relatively simple because I always say it's simple, but figuring it out isn't the easiest thing to do. So, what I'm going to do instead of this is I'm going to add a step before. And this step is going to be called send info. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this from here. I'm going to say use the tool to eh, transfer the call. All right, that's what I'm going to say for this step. This step will only be used for actual call transfers. All right, so here I'm going to do send info, and I'm going to paste this. If the user is looking to speak to a manager, I'm going to say use the tool. And now I'm going to go over and I am going to save the changes for this. I will duplicate this. And I'm going to go ahead and create an API within Go High Level. So I'm going to call this create workflow, send. Oh, actually, I think I have one, right? Send to build, form to call. Nope. If not, I'll make one from scratch. That's no problem. I believe I had one, but if not, I'm going to go ahead and make one. So I'm basically going to be testing a webhook. All right. So free transfer workflow. Here we go. I'm going to create a workflow here from scratch. And this is basically going to I'm gonna it's gonna catch this inbound webhook here, which I will then connect to this assistant, right? Like this. I initialize the action here. Now I basically connected the webhook. As you can see, it's going to gather everything from the info extractors and all the statuses and everything connected to that assistant itself. Now here, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a phone here, and I'm gonna connect it to whenever we get a lead from this connection to the assistant. All right, I'm gonna do, what should I call this? Free transfer info extractor. Cool. Now the goal for this workflow is basically to be able to send information to somebody before the call gets transferred. That's the main goal of this. Now, how do we connect the assistant and the flow designer and go high level? So pretty simple. We go over to custom actions, and then within custom actions, we're going to go to the marketplace templates, and I believe it was this one. I'm going to do this one. I have so many templates nowadays. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're basically going to connect this endpoint here, this URL, over to this endpoint. All right, and since it's connected to your Go High Level account, we're going to make that a post. All right, so you send that as a post, and you can leave that as is. And here we're going to send over specific information. So this, just for as an example, I will just do the, what should I do? Email? I'll do email. And then this is going to be a variable that I'll call email, the user's email. So here's where you're going to include all of the information that you want to send over. All right, so in this case, it'll just be email. And I'll do kev.lopez.com. It's my email. And then here we're going to do email. All right. If I want to do another one just for fun, I will do phone. And this is going to be user phone. And then these need to go in between this as well with a comma here. I'll save that there. And yeah, that's basically what it would look like. All right. If you want to send over information, just keep in mind that obviously these variables need to be pre-filled by these variables down here, right? So anything that you had on here, besides the phone number, of course, you're going to add down here. So if it's specific questions that the person that you're transferring to needs to know, you need to understand that you need to add them here as well as in the info extractors. Because what this is going to do, these variables, so these will input the AI to ask the user, and it'll gather the information and use it for this API. Okay. Now, how will this action get triggered? So I'll call this send transfer info. I'll do send call transfer info. And then this, what am I going to put here? This is where it gets pretty tricky. This, I will go ahead and say, call this API if the user is looking to speak to a manager to send information from the call to go high level. So this will be triggered as soon as this happens. All right. So in here, now that I have the custom action created, by the way, there's new features here, which is very cool. There's the usual start message, which is what we had before. The delay message. Um, so this only happens if the assistant actually reaches like a delay threshold, meaning it's taking pretty long to perform the action. It's gonna add a delay message like, "Hey, we're working on it. Working on it. 1 sec." And then failure message. I don't need to add a failure message here, but you guys get the gist. And the threshold here is going to be 3 seconds, right? If it takes 3 seconds, it's already a pretty long time. So we go into the next step, and I'm gonna go ahead and initialize the action. Let's just use my phone number here, and we'll see if it's a success. If not, we'll go ahead and fix it. No problem. Because I'm just doing this all the way from scratch with you guys. There's bound to be errors, as you guys may know. But here it is. No errors. There we go. So we sent it over. As you guys can see, it sent my email and it sent my phone number. Cool. Perfect. So this webhook will only be used when sending information to the person you're transferring to. Okay. So now that you have that done, right? You have the phone number, which you're going to connect over to the webhook, which is phone. And you also have email. Email. You can save that action. And then from here, you could send over an SMS. You can send over an email. You could basically do anything that you want before the call gets transferred with this trigger, right? So I can even go ahead and save this here. And I'm going to grab the call actions that, remember, we didn't do anything with. And I'm going to add them to a step right here. I'll add this call actions. And it's pretty simple. Obviously, as you guys know, this is not really how it's going to be set up. Like usually with the flow designer, you want to split these up, right? You want to split up every hashtag possible, right? So that way it's super easy and you guys understand where things are going wrong. That's really how you want to use the flow designer. But for the sake of me showing you guys, this is how I'm using it for now. Now, it's pretty simple. Here, I'm going to add a branch. And I'll actually add this here. Wants to speak to a manager or get the call or transfer the call. I'll save those changes. And then this is user doesn't know call or transfer. Now, usually, obviously, here, what I would do is I would probably just split this up because you have the custom greeting here normally, which is where you ask the initial question. And if they ever want to not transfer the call or anything like that, then more than likely I would cut this off right about here. All right. So it really depend. Um, in this case, I don't really see a need for doing this, but I'll just keep it like this just in case. I think it should be fine. But we'll go ahead and test it, and if it doesn't work, we'll go ahead and fix it up. No problem. I want you guys to see everything, behind the scenes. I'm also new to the flow designer. Um, I've made some good flows, but obviously, I'm not as fluent as I am with the prompts normally. So obviously, I got to put the practice in. So does everybody. But I've made some pretty good workflows already with the flow designer. It's very reliable. That's why I use it. What? And then I'll go ahead and configure a voice here. I'll just use Jessica. I'll go ahead and put the settings I like. So it doesn't sound bad. And let's go ahead and have it call me. And yeah, Mike, it's really cool, man. Let's see. Yeah, this is Kevin. Um, yeah, could I actually speak to the manager? Hello?
I'm transferring you to a manager now. Please hold on for just a moment.
Okay. And
Thank you.
she's calling me. Um, because I'm the phone number that it transfers to. So the reason that there was a silent pause there was because she was performing the action, which was the custom action itself, which can be easily changed. However, let's go ahead and see. Wait, put the webhook. There it is. Perfect. Cool. So, and there it is. Awesome. So it has my name, it has the phone number and all that stuff. So it basically sent over the information, which is good. Now, obviously, all you guys need to do is set this part up, which is just sending an SMS to the person that you want it to send the information over to. And do the same thing with the email. If you want to send an email, if you want to send a Slack message, whatever you guys want to do, obviously, you're able to do it through Go High Level using API. So it should be relatively simple. But this is what I wanted to teach you guys for call transferring. But I do know that we have two other things that we need to go over. But one thing before I go over those is multi-call transferring, because I know a couple of you guys need to transfer to multiple phone numbers, not only one. Okay, so in order to do that, it's actually pretty easy. All you need to do is make uh multiple of these, right? So obviously you would have different phone numbers for each, but you can have multiple call transfers. This is not like real-time booking where if you add a real-time booking here, you can only do one, as you can see right here. It's not like that. And here, if they want to, you would make the reason of, let's say this one they want to talk to a manager, and this one they want to talk to support, and this one they want to talk to about payments and billing. You guys get the gist of it, but that is basically how call transferring works. So don't be afraid to make more than one call transfer action just because you're going to have the capability to do so. This is all a matter of you specifying the prompt correctly. And obviously, test. Not everything is going to be perfect the first time that you make it. So do keep that in mind. You have to do some tests with the prompting, both here as well as the main prompting, either in the flow designer or um, how to switch. There we go. Awesome. Let me know if this looks good, guys. Yeah, either here in the prompting or in the flow designer, whichever one. Just know it all depends on the prompt. Really, that's more than likely 90% of the problems typically come from the prompt. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to be speaking about is voicemails. So, how are we able to send voicemails at the moment? Currently, as you guys know, Synthflow doesn't have the functionality to send a voicemail, but you guys know me. I am literally working very hard to have it become a functionality for you guys. So later on, and I don't think it's going to take too long either, pretty much in the next 2 months, we're going to have voicemail capabilities. So we're going to be able to leave voicemails for the guys that we're calling, and they will be able to contain variables. So I don't want to make any promises either. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm just pushing for it. But the goal is to be able to send voicemails using Synthflow itself, which is going to be a very good feature that we can have. Now, since we're not able to do it at the moment, I have alternatives as always. Um, so, how do we make it work with the alternatives? It's relatively simple. What you're going to want to do is let's call it extractor here. I've already shown you guys how to make this multiple times. Now, basically, what we're identifying here is if the call was answered, if the call failed, or if the call reached a voicemail. Now, if the call reached a voicemail, you're basically going to make this voicemail feature right here where you're able to drop in. There you go. Now let's wait 3 hours. There we go. Oh, wow. I dropped a 43-minute voicemail. Hold on. Let me go ahead and and pick a shorter one. 30 seconds, 7 seconds. Perfect. I don't know who would listen to that voicemail. All right, so yeah, whenever they reach a voicemail, obviously we want to leave a voicemail. Okay, so you don't want to be leaving voicemails because obviously a lot of you guys, and I'll go over this in just a second, where we talk about reconnects, but a lot of you guys more than likely want to be able to send only one voicemail for every call that you make. You don't want to be sending multiple voicemails every single time. You just want to send one voicemail most of the time, right? So how do we do this? The way that you do this to identify if a voicemail is sent is by adding a tag. So you add a tag, and we're gonna say voicemail activated. Okay, or you can make it this a counter, right? If you want a counter where you only leave like 3 voicemails, honestly, you know what? I'm gonna build that for you guys right now. Let's do it because I feel like that'd be very fun to build out. Let me go to my account here, and we're gonna go to custom fields. We're gonna do this together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my AI call info folder. I'm going to add a field here. I'm going to make this a number. And this is going to be called, I will call it voicemail counter. All right. Now this voicemail counter is going to do exactly what the name is called. So here we're going to add a math equation. We're going to select, actually, wait, I need to refresh this because I know Go High Level always needs to refresh after every single thing. I'm going to go ahead and add that math operation again. And we're going to call this, we're going to get this inbound executed action. Actually, I'll get the counter here, voicemail counter. You just type it in. And you're going to add, let's say 2. Because we may only want to send 2 voicemails. You get what I mean? However many voicemails you want, that's what you add there. So voicemail counter, we update that field. And then here we're going to create an if else. counter identifier. And this is going to be voicemail greater than 2. We're going to go right here. We're going to select contact details. We're going to write in counter. And then we're going to go greater than 2. So we're identifying if we've sent 2 emails or more. So we're only going to send 2 emails maximum, right? Now, we're going to do this voicemail less than 2, and then save that. Now, if it's greater than 2, I'm gonna move this here. If it's greater than 2, we're not gonna do anything, right? Because we've already sent 2 voicemails. But if it's below 2, we need to send up to 2 voicemails. Meaning, we're gonna have a voicemail right here. So it's gonna pass through this twice, okay? Because this is just gonna add. Actually, now that I think about it, make that 1. So this is gonna pass by twice. So every time we go here, it adds 1 number to the voicemail counter. So we count how many voicemails are going through. All right, until it passes by twice. Now to make it even more complex for you guys, how about we make a voicemail counter like this, right? How about we switch it up so that way you guys are able to send multiple voicemails. All right, you guys can get very creative with this. Like this is just the beginning. We're gonna do equals to 1, and I'll make this equals 1. Duplicate the branch equals 2. And now we're gonna move these actions here and then duplicate all actions here. And then the second voicemail, we're gonna send them a different voicemail. All right, maybe this one's Jessica. Are they both Jessica? No. Right, but maybe this one's Jessica. So now you're able to send 2 different voicemails. Okay? So that way it doesn't sound like a robot. And now after you go to, you do number 1 and number 2, after number 3, you're not going to send anything because you don't want to overload people with voicemails that are, robots. But it's going to make it seem like, they're it's an SDR that's trying to do their hardest to get you on the phone. When in reality, it's just an automation that's costing you a couple cents to run. You know? Insane. Uh, Obviously, you can make the voicemails like your own voice, whatever you want to do, if you want to make it like that. But I want to build these out for you guys so that way it's like super simple for you guys to understand. By the way, drop any questions down below that you guys may have. I love to answer them. So please drop it down below. I'm gonna be here for the next 20 minutes. So take your chances as well if you guys have any questions about your own company or anything else or what we're discussing right now. All right. Now, let me see where I'm missing. Okay. Hey, curious, does the 2.0 in Synthflow apply to go high level inbound agents as well? Uh, it will, I believe, next Monday. Carrie. Yeah, so this upcoming Monday. Now, oops. Now, now that we've covered that, we're going to go ahead and cover the reconnects. So what do reconnects mean? All right, this is the third topic of today. Reconnects basically mean you being able to touch base multiple times for a singular lead. Now, I don't think I'll be able to go over this entirely because we won't have enough time. Um, but I'll go over the skeleton of it. All right. So here, and keep in mind this isn't the latest updated one, but it's the one I want to show you guys. So as you can see in this automation, we're gonna have multiple calls. So the call, let's see right here. The call, we're gonna make multiple calls here. So every time that it goes to voicemail, we go ahead and call them again. But if they answer the call, we go ahead and gather the reason or like pretty much the information that happened throughout the call itself. And we're gonna be able to follow up with people. So you can see here call number 1, call number 2, call number 3, and call number 4. So with these calls, let me go ahead. This I'm not gonna do any manual calls here for you guys. So you can go ahead and delete that. So here, all we're doing is we're basically identifying if a custom field contains 2, which would then obviously move it down the call number path. But as I mentioned, I don't have enough time to go over everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to answer a couple of questions for you guys because as you can see, this is a pretty hefty automation here. So we won't be able to have enough time to go through everything. Um, any idea when they're going to make outbound available in Go High Level? I'm not entirely sure. That might be a Go High Level question because for Synthflow, outbound's already available. But for Go High Level, I'm not entirely sure 'cause I don't have access to them specifically. How does it leave a voicemail if the call is already done when the webhook triggers that Go High Level workflow? So it Go High Level sets it to call them again and then immediately hang up and then leave the voicemail. So it looks like they received 2 calls and 1 voicemail from the same phone number. If you have Twilio connected to your Go High Level, which you can do for those of you who don't know. Can the AI transfer Can the AI transfer the call to a number that's returned dynamically by an external API during the conversation? If so, how would that work? Yes, it would be possible, but the only way to get it to work is by being able to make an API that is not native to Synthflow and then making the call transfer for number dynamic depending on what happens throughout the call. That's how you're gonna do it, Red. So basically, you pull out the information, and then you run your own specific workflow that you can then pull out the number and then plug it into that API custom action inside of Synthflow. Um, that is going to be custom, right? Not the native one. And then you're going to be able to make transfers to that specific phone number. I'm pretty sure this is what GoHelp is currently doing. Yeah, it's a ringless. Yes, ringless voicemail. I believe because it just calls, drops the call, and then leaves the voicemail. That's basically what happens, Mike. It's just gonna drop that file in there, pretty much the one that you include inside the Go High Level automation. Of course, Red. You let me know if you need help with it as well, because that's not the easiest thing to do. Um. So yeah, if you ever encounter an issue, let me know or my team, and we're gonna help you guys out. Does a long prompt affect an assistant's performance or cause delays? Yes. Yes, it definitely can affect the not the performance, but it can cause delays, right? So it can make the assistant talk slower. I guess yeah, it does affect the performance as well because if it talks slower, then I guess it affects the performance. But try to keep your prompts because we can handle a lot of characters, like a lot. I know it's like 100,000 words or something around there, but don't go to 100,000 words, in my opinion. You are if you're gonna have a lot in a prompt, just make sure you test it rigorously. Like, how will it perform if it's a long prompt? How will it perform if it's a short prompt? From what I've seen, medium-sized prompts work perfectly every time. And if I've had long prompts before, but not too long, because I don't have them. If I make them too long, I know there's gonna be some sort of issue that I don't want to face. So I just have them in like medium size. Anything related to long prompts, you just probably can do with a knowledge base inside of Synthflow and have the assistant grab from that knowledge base. And that one you can basically have it be how do you call it? Yeah, you can have it be like 300 plus pages or whatever, something ridiculous. Mohammed. Perfect. Thanks. I don't use Go High Level at this point. We're building basic outbound agents for attorneys. Can some of the Go High Level workflows be built within the Synthflow workflow area? Yeah, yeah, of course. Like Go High Level and Synthflow use active pieces. So that's what it's ran by. So they're both running off of the same automation software, the same exact one, except that Go High Level has it like way more customized at the moment for now. Um, but yeah, it's like the same. It's the same thing. So you should be able to, Mike. Yeah. No. Yes, there will be a recording. The This is actually pinned. Here you go. Yeah, so this is where you're able to find the entire document of everything. And that includes my info as well as the recording for this call itself. All right, so you could find it in there. And let me know if you have any issues, of course. And yes, of course, Michael. Mike, sorry. Okay, one more thing I want to show you guys. Um, as I've shown you guys before, but I haven't done this in quite a bit. I do have my own community that you guys are able to join. Now, do keep in mind that this community is mainly for you guys to learn everything there is about Synthflow. So, as you can see right here, you guys are capable of having. So, these are all like snapshots, basically, that I'm giving to you guys. All you need to do is be active in the community, and then you're able to have them for free. Um, and then obviously, I have like full on courses only about Synthflow. This is how I became part of the Synthflow team actually, because they saw these courses and they really appreciated it. And then I just gave it to everybody for free because I wanted to help out. And then obviously I'm helping here out like all the time and sharing about like YouTube videos that I'm making and all that stuff about Synthflow. I'm telling you guys, I don't shut up about Synthflow. These guys are awesome. Well, I'm part of the guys now technically, but um, definitely join up here because you guys are going to be able to have everything that you need within here. And to be able to join up, I'm going to send this link in the chat so you guys have it. It's also in the document that I gave you guys. But this is how you're able to join. It's going to ask you a couple questions and then it's going to give you basically going to send you to the school community right after you plug in those questions. And yeah, you'll be able to join like that. So definitely keep that in mind if you want to look to learn more about Synthflow and how to do all these little tiny little, fixes and things on your build outs. So we're having issues with our call transfers coming up as different numbers each time it initiates. One of our clients also told us they missed the call transfer, but the number was the leads number. You might have to message me a little bit about this, Noah, so I can help you out. But it seems like are you using Synthflow? I'm pretty sure you are, but just in case, if you're not using Synthflow, I've just never seen this issue before, and I'm always on these assistants. But if it is Synthflow, message me inside the school community that I just shared to you, and I'll try my best to help you out with it. Okay? Is there a way to create a dynamic agent that is attached to like a Slack channel or can give it a message to deliver to a specific contact? The agent will then call that person with a message. Definitely, for sure, for sure. Um, you'd be able to attach like this will be a whole like Zapier thing where if you get a message from Slack, then it sends it over to the assistant with the information of that message, or go high level, however it is. And then sends it over to uh, yeah, sends it over to Zapier, and then from Zapier sends it to Synthflow to make that phone call using Synthflow's API. And then for anything that happens throughout the call, it can send back to Slack using Zapier um, with info extractors from the Synthflow assistant. So definitely possible. And then you said, can this be a single agent that can make multiple different calls depending on the specific request? Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit of a different way to set it up because I've never seen somebody activate like an assistant from a Slack channel. I've just seen them add like a CSV or make it like a form or request, something that just initiates it without having to manually write a Slack channel message, unless it's automated. So the main prompt, as you can see right here, so the main prompt should explain this for the agent, I'm guessing. Uh, not. I don't think you need to explain. I think it's. I mean, you can explain it. That should be fine. Like, I need to know more or less like what specifically you're looking, or like the process, the funnel that you're taking these guys through. But I'll give you an example. Like, if it's just a lead that you got and you're telling the assistant through Slack, like, hey, call this person because of this, this, and that. And yeah, I guess you could just teach the assistant inside the main prompt what you told it, and then it's going to be able to make that call pretty much and understand what the context of the call is. Synthflow integrated with Go High Level. Yeah, definitely message me, Noah. I got you. Synth is still working on fixing the verified caller IDs. I was testing with them yesterday. That might be why the call transfers are not using the right caller IDs too. Could be, but I'm using maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm using Twilio as my main uh so obviously Simple uses Twilio in the back end, but I just use my own Twilio account and I connect it to Synthflow so that way I can make my own caller IDs. Right? So I just go into Twilio, I make the caller IDs using the CNAM, um, and then I just plug it in into Synthflow using the integration. So it automatically gets plugged in without needing to put the caller ID option in Synthflow. I just do it through Twilio, really. By the way, good questions, guys. These are really good. Very good. Hey, we have 5 more minutes. If you guys want to shoot some more than happy to help out with them. Uh, let me see what else. Are you setting up sub accounts on Twilio for each number? No, not sub accounts on Twilio for each number. I just add multiple sub accounts within one. I mean, multiple numbers within one sub account, and I just separate the sub accounts depending on, clients or reasons why I'm using them or something that helps me identify what the phone numbers are for. Hopefully that helps, Mike. We have a client in France, but Synthflow doesn't seem to have French numbers. Do we have to elastic SIP trunking? Uh, Twilio might not have it, but check. Oh, sorry, Synthflow might not have it, but check Twilio. Unless it's all from Twilio. But if you can't, well, obviously Synthflow does run off of Twilio, but maybe Twilio has more availability or like abundance with phone numbers. Not entirely sure. But Carrie, if Twilio doesn't allow phone numbers from France, definitely you're gonna need elastic SIP trunking. But we allow that. Like um we allow you guys to do elastic SIP trunking. I just don't remember if it was only in the enterprise plan at the moment. All right, so do keep that in mind. And one more thing, Mike, uh, for your caller IDs, if you're doing outbound calling, I don't know if I would recommend spending all the time doing those caller IDs, just because you you're still gonna land on spam sometimes, um, and you're gonna have to rotate phone numbers, with the caller IDs. So you're gonna lose caller IDs here and there. I'm not sure if you want to do that, but if it's an inbound phone number, perfect. Use caller IDs. That's no problem. But then again, it doesn't really matter because caller IDs are not even shown on inbound. So if you're making minimal amounts of calls outbound wise, then yeah, use caller IDs. But if you're making large amounts, don't use caller IDs. You're using Go High Level as a white label in that deliverable to your client. Is that a deliverable to your clients? How much of the voice AI agents data? How much of the voice AI agents data and prompt, etc., are they able to see? Let me take it one question at a time. Hold on. Okay, so you're using Go High Level as a white label. Is that a deliverable to your clients? No, it really isn't. I don't resell. Uh, I trust on. I don't know. I'm a big guy of like, hey, if you want to use and grow with your own accounts, I'll help you. Like that's why I have an implementation team. I have a team that helps you go and grow in your own Go High Level and Synthflow accounts. Um, but yeah, no, we don't really ask for. Yeah, that's the main goal that I have it white labeled is just so people know that I'm visionary. That's basically it. I'm visionary with Synthflow. It's like the same thing. We're partners pretty much. Um, and how much of the AI voice agents data and prompt, etc., are they able to see? Oh, everything because they have their own accounts. Yeah, and if your volume is fairly low, Mike, definitely add that caller ID for sure. All right. Well, I do want to thank you guys. It is 3 p.m. on my time. I do want to thank you guys for joining up. Don't forget to join the community. This community is going to help you guys out a lot for anything personal, of course. So once again, I'm going to leave the link to it down below. You guys are going to be able to see everything in there. Um, Thank you guys once again for joining. I do appreciate you guys, like 48 of you, taking the time to come out here and watch me yap for basically an hour. So I do appreciate that. And I do these every week, but you guys are very consistent with joining, so I do appreciate you guys coming on. I will touch grass now. Thank you, Carrie. I will definitely go ahead and take some time outside after my next 4 meetings. All right. Talk to you guys soon. I'll see you guys next Friday. Peace.